Welcome everyone. Myself K.Ch.Suneetha, CSC Department, Gograju Rangaraju Institute of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad. In this video, we'll discuss about the concept of strings in C. Firstly, this is a video which tells you about the introduction of strings. In the later videos, we'll discuss about the operations and how to read strings and how to write strings onto the screen and all. So coming to the strings, a string is a sequence of characters that is treated as a single data item. Group of characters enclosed between double quotation marks is a string constant. So here there is a difference between character constant and string constant, which is to be noted. Any single character. So a character can be a letter, an integer, a digit, or any special symbol. Anything which is enclosed between single quotes is called as a character constant, whereas group of characters enclosed between double quotations are called as string constant. Here is an example, hello world. So these are considered as group of characters. Even space is also considered as one of the character. So hello world enclosed between double quotes, so hence it is considered as a string constant. There are few operations which can be carried out on strings. So the operations which can be carried out on strings are reading and writing of strings, which is how to read a string and how to display a string. Now coming to the next operation, which is combining strings together. How to combine two strings and how to copy one string to another. And the next operation is comparing strings for equality. And you can even extract some portion of a string and you can display it. Now we'll see how to declare and initialize string variables. C does not support string as a data type. However, it allows us to represent strings as character arrays. So whenever we have to deal with some group of integers, then it is called as an array. Group of elements is called as an array. Similarly, group of characters. So in order to declare a group, we have to declare as an array. So here we are going to read group of characters as a single string. So there will be only one string name. String is considered as group of characters. So one single name with one subscript, one dimensional character and array and two dimensional character array will say. But now here, this is the syntax or form of declaring a string. And character, char, string name followed by size within subscript. The size determines the number of characters in the string name. For example, here city of 10, which means 10 is the size of the string. You cannot give a name which is having more than 10 characters, or that a city name should be here as per the example should not go beyond 10 characters. And similarly, name cannot go beyond 30 characters. So here, this is the syntax of how to declare a string. And we'll see now how to initialize a string. When the compiler assigns a character string to a character array, it automatically supplies a null character at the end of the string. What is the purpose? We terminate or the compiler terminates that with a null character is here in order to tell the logical end of the string. Whenever we read a string, that will be terminated with a null terminator. Therefore, the size should be equal to the maximum number of characters plus 1, which means that plus 1 is for null terminator. So the size of any string will be the total number of characters plus 1. Like numeric arrays, character arrays may be initialized when they are declared. So the initialization of a string. So the initialization of a string can be as a string constant or individual character constant separately. C also permits us to initialize a character array without specifying the number of elements. In such cases, the size of the array will be determined automatically based on the number of elements initialized. So the whatever the concepts we have learned regarding compile time initialization in arrays, all those will be applicable even for string compile time initialization. So here we can also declare the size much larger than the strings in the initialize. That is the statement char s of 10 is equal to good. So all the array concepts at compile time are even applicable for the string compile time initialization. Now, however, the following declaration is illegal. So always the size of the string should be maximum than the number of initialization. So here char str2 is the string name, size is 3. Actually, the size as per the number of initializations here should be 5, but then here it is lesser. So it will result in a compile time error. And also we cannot separate the initialization of a string from declaration. You have to either initialize along with the declaration itself, but a string cannot be initialized separately. It is not allowed. And then how to read strings from terminal. Nor Similar to the normal input through keyboard, here also a string can be initialized from the terminal, which is our keyboard. So percentile s is the format specifier which we have to use in order to read a string. String itself is a pointer, so no need of preceding a string name with an ampersand here. In the case of character arrays, the ampersand is not required before the variable name. And one disadvantage with scanf is scanf stops reading the input or string whenever it encounters white space. So there is an alternative for this. One is to use with the specification, and the other alternative is to use edit set conversion code. We'll see in the coming videos. So here with the specification is specified. In order to read Gokaraju here, and for suppose if you wanted to read Gokaraju, then it reads only GOKARA, as the width specification is 6. It only reads 6 characters and then it stops reading. Now reading a line of text. As I've just told you, there is another concept which is called that edit set conversion code. So with this conversion code, you can even read a string with white spaces within scanf function. So here is an example. Now there is another way of reading a string, which is using unformatted input function, which are getChar function and getS function. GetChar function reads a string character by character, which means it accepts only one string, one character at a time. And getS function on the other side will accept entire string even with white spaces. So the syntax for getChar function is ch is equal to get care of, which doesn't have any argument. And coming to the syntax of getS function, getS function reads a text containing white spaces. So this getS function will be defaultly available in the stdio.h header file. Syntax of getS function is getS of string name. So coming to here, str is a string variable. GetS function reads a characters into str from the keyboard until a new line character is encountered, and then appends a null character to the string. Unlike scanf, it does not skip white spaces. So even with white spaces also we can read a string. So this is an example of how to read a string. So hope you understood about the introduction of strings, how to read strings. We'll see in the next video how to write strings onto your monitor. Thank you.